session with G section students today. Lab session. So I had discussed a couple of things which is required for the lab, the commands and things like that. So those who wish to know more about this compilation things and all, you can maybe listen to that videos. I mean the lectures, okay, the recordings. I mean, so maybe the G section students can share if anyone requires that lectures. So there are a couple of things I discussed there. What compilation and what is an executable file, things like that. So maybe any one of you from G section can share that video or recording to the other sections also. Okay. Fine. So we were discussing the other day this structure of C program, right? Shall we continue with the same? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. I'll just quickly start from the beginning. There are so many sections like document section, preprocessor or link section, definition, global declaration, function declaration, main function, user defined function. Okay. If you look at somewhere else, you may see slightly different like linkage section, definition, global, main, subprogram function. Moreover, it is same only. So let me just discuss first and then I'll come back to the other programs. Yeah. So document section, I have already told you, if at all you wanted to make any kind of, comments or a statement, this program is meant for what, things like that, you can go for a document section. Okay. It is optional. It is optional. It is not compulsory that you need to include document section in your program. Is that clear? And moreover, it is not an executable code of a C program. Fine. So example like name of the program or the question, maybe in this example, program to find area and perimeter of a circle. You can see that you are putting slash and star. Okay. So this is something about documentation section. And coming to the, sorry, just moved out of the, yeah. Next is preprocessor or link section, or it is also known as another structure. If you look at linkage section, they have not mentioned anything about preprocessor, but please understand the term preprocessor. Already I discussed in the last class what do you mean by a preprocessor. The statements what you give before main. I repeat, the statements what you give before main in the form of a hash include. Okay, in the format it follows hash include. Such statements are known as preprocessor directives. So one of the example is hash include stdio.h. What do you mean by hash include stdio.h? Where it starts with a hash and include, and you are going to include stdio.h, where stdio.h is a library file. It is a header file having a .h extension which defines all input output related functions in this header file. Okay, I repeat, it has all input output related functions defined under this header file. So what you are going to do is, with this statement, you are going to include stdio.h into your program. What program you are typing? Okay, why the reason you are going to include is, if you are using any input output statement, it is must that you have to include that library into your program. Example, your printf statement, scanf statement, all those statements are included in this preprocessor directive hash include stdio.h. The same way, Another example is hash include math.h. So now again, you have hash, you have include, you are including math.h into your program. What do you mean by that? Or why do you need math.h? Math, as the name indicates, it is a mathematical library. It is a mathematical library. So .h is an extension for the header files. Okay. So what it means is, in case in your program, so when I say your program, as a user, you type something. Today, G section people would have got to know that gedit only I use. Others also, no problem. Once you listen to my lectures, okay. So you type the program in Gedit window. So that program. So I am naming my program as sample.c now. Okay, sample.c is my program. sample.c. Some name you give, no problem. You are going to include mathematical header files into it. So why do I need mathematical header file? In case if you are using any mathematical related functions in your program. When I say in your program, it is sample.c. Okay. So what are the mathematical functions? You all know that square root, power, all those things. If you wanted to find out the square root of a number, square root of 4. So I can use the function called sqrt. Simply if you use sqrt of x or sqrt of 8, sqrt of 5, you will get the result. How you are getting the result? Because sqrt is a inbuilt function which is defined under the library math.h. So you are going to include math.h in your program in case if you are using any mathematical related functions like power, square root, etc. Is it clear what is a preprocessor directive? Like this, students, in case if you have anything extra, like you are using any of the inbuilt functions from some of the header files, you must include that. And as well as right now it is not required, any user defined functions also you can define under a header file. Okay, is that clear? Preprocessor directive session.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. It is also known as link section or linkage. If you look at in the other format, it is a linkage section. Doesn't matter, preprocessor or linkage section. And hereafter, I don't want anybody to say that we don't know what is a preprocessor directive. Okay, I repeat, preprocessor directive is nothing but, as the name indicates, before actual processing, actual computation starts, this libraries will be running behind. That is why it is known as preprocessor. Good. Coming to the third point, definition section. Definition section is nothing but, I don't know whether you people have used. Have you used anywhere hash define size 10 and all? I think you have used. Have you used? When I taught the mechanical lab, I introduced this, but I don't know about your class. Can anyone just comment on this? Have you used anything called hash define and all in your program?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, actually, it is must. When I introduced in PSAT lab one of the time. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. What is definition section is nothing but, as the name indicates, define, definition. It is defining something. What is it defining? In case, listen carefully, if you wanted to make any variable value as a constant in your program, like example, you all know that if I ask you to find out area of a circle.
Excuse me, ma'am. It's equal to assigned.
Wait. I'll come to the point. Assign. I'll tell that. Wait. So if you wanted to find out the area of a circle, what is the formula you use? Area of a circle.
Area equal to pi r square.
Pi r square. So r is the input there. You read the input, isn't it? Right? What about pi?
Yes, ma'am.
What about pi? I'm just asking. Casually, you can answer. Whatever you have done, you can say.
Ma'am, we'll define it, ma'am.
How do you define pi?
By assigning its value pi equal to 3.14.
Exactly. So as somebody mentioned, you do an assignment, pi is equal to 3.14, right?
Yes,
Where
ma'am.
do you do that assignment? Inside main or above main?
It's above.
Above main.
Inside main.
Inside main.
Inside main. I think you have used inside main only that. In main, inside that pi is equal to 3.14 or p equal to 3.14 or pi is equal to any variable you can assign. No problem. Right. Now, in case if you wanted to, if you are sure that pi variable or p, let us say I'm taking pi is equal to 3.14. You know that it is pi is equal to 3.14. So whenever you use pi, it automatically takes 3.14, right? It is you are giving it inside your main. Now there is some option called define, hash define. It is again acts as a preprocessor, like before main only it takes does the value or computation. What it does is hash define space pi space 3.14. So what happens here, whenever that pi, wherever pi comes, you can straight away use that pi inside your program. Pi will get replaced with 3.14. It is just an assignment thing only. But what is the difference between an assignment and a definition is, it is again a preprocessor. Preprocessor in the sense, before your main, before your actual computation starts, this will also be processed and kept. Okay. So you have something called hash define. If you look at in this example, you can see hash symbol is there, define, D-E-F-I-N-E, but max, instead of pi, we have used a max word here. That is okay. You can use pi space 3.14, but there is no equal to. There is no assignment operator you are using it, because hash define meaning itself, the value, the variable is going to define by the value whatever you are specifying towards to the right side. So here in this example, hash define max 100. So variable name space 100. So what happens here inside the program, wherever you use this max, somewhere if you are using max, you can straight away that max will get replaced with 100. So here you have used actually max index is equal to 100. There's nowhere you have used max in this program, but this max, in case if you are using in future anywhere in the program, it automatically gets assigned with 100 value. Okay, so there is something called a definition section in your program. You can define, you basically you can predefine the values. That is the meaning. Okay, again it is an optional session.
Ma'am,
it is not compulsory that you have to use it like this. Yeah. Yeah.
Now again, if we assign another value inside main for pi, will it take, ma'am?
Yeah, that point I will discuss later. That is again your local global declaration only. I understood. Now you have used your pi is equal to 3.14, right? Again, if you take pi here, what value it say? If you take use the same variable, it takes that variable value. I'll tell you what it does, because the local scope, global scope and all are there. That we will discuss later. You keep this question. When I say maybe, I think let me just go a little. I'll discuss with the local variable and global variable. That part. It is a good question.
Okay.
Ma'am, the recently assigned value will be assigned, right? Again.
Yeah, that is why, because as he asked now, this is a global declaration. Now it is this thing. So local one only will be taken inside what you put it. So I need to tell you first of all the scope of the variable for that. So if I start discussing that, I will have to deviate from the structure. That is why.
What will be the data type when we define?
Define, there is no data. Yeah, that is again good comment. When we define, we don't need to declare as a variable using any data type. It is a good thing what you have asked. I forgot, in fact. In case if you are using float pi here, what would be the data type? Float, right? Float pi inside if you are using it. But here there is no data type you need to define here. Whatever a value. If at all it is a floating point, it automatically assigns a floating point. If it is an integer, it assigns to an integer. So you don't need to declare the variable pi when you use define. Is it clear? Now,
Can we define a string also, ma'am?
Sorry?
Can we define as a string?
Yeah, there are again it is so many things, like you can define a macro, you can define a printf statement, you can define a string. There are so many things you can define.
Okay.
But it is all in detail. Those who really wanted to know more about this programming part, you can maybe discuss with me, or offline we can discuss that. Good way of thinking. People are thinking good. So define basically uses for macros and all. You can do that, no problem. And one more advantage also I'll tell you. I don't want to deviate from the topic again. But the advantage of defining like this, now as somebody mentioned, what data type. I'm not mentioning any data type. What happens if I put here float pi? Float takes 4 bytes, right? So 4 bytes of memory will be allocated to this pi variable. But when you do this, it is kind of a dynamically it takes. As and when you run, it takes. That is another advantage of using define. It is all basically good programmers will follow all those things, because see, sometimes you might have heard about space utilization, time utilization and all, right? Such cases we go for this kind of macro definitions, etc.
Ma'am?
Okay, yeah.
But the defining is not mandatory, no, ma'am.
It is not a mandatory, it is optional. Again,
assign is also better, no, ma'am.
That is why assign is better or define is better. You will not know right now, because it is with respect to the memory. Right? As I mentioned, that is what just now I told, right? When you assign it, you have to use the data type. That many number of bytes should be allocated for that particular variable, right? Here, that many number of memory is not allocated in that case. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the is equal to is no need, ma'am, for that.
Not required. That is also a good point. Is equal to is not required when you do that. Yeah, basically you're not going to assign. It is like when we say it is an assignment only is happening, you are defining it. I told, right, in the very beginning itself, each word when we say define, assign, there is a difference technically when it comes. Assign is nothing but you are going to use an assignment operator there and you're going to assign the value. Define is basically that only, pi is equal to only, but you are not going to use any operator here. Wherever pi comes in your program, that pi will take this value. That's it. Got it? Yeah. Good. So it is again optional. It is not compulsory that you have to go for a definition section. Okay. Coming to the 4th point, global declaration section. What does global declaration is? There is something called global, local, things like that. Just now I was telling, global is nothing but, in general, what do you mean by a global? Global. Anybody? Any idea what is global? We use this term, global.
Ma'am, when we take about the whole world,
all over the world, we say, yeah.
Valid in every case, ma'am. Valid in every case.
Valid in every cases. So mainly, like when we say all over the world, when we say all over the world means what? It is like globally. It is like spread out everywhere, right? Globally. Local means with respect to that particular section or with respect to maybe a particular area. It is defined, right? So I don't know whether you have used, because have you used like this anything? The function declaration before main. Anywhere have you used function declaration before main in your programming classes in the last semester? Anywhere have you used like this? Before main, have you used function declaration?
No, ma'am.
No. So where did you declare the functions usually? How did you do? Inside the main, huh?
We did not use functions in C, ma'am.
You did not use functions in C. Oh, okay. You have learned only loops and things. Okay.
Ma'am means you're telling that void main.
Fine. No problem. I got it. You didn't study. I am discussing with PSAT then maybe. It's okay. No problem. I'll come back to that point later. Let me just put it like this now. Then this example may not suit for that. Okay, fine. No problem. This global declaration is nothing but, let me put it like this in that case. Whatever you declare, you declare a variable usually inside a main, right? That is what you have learned, right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you declare a variable inside a main. Fine. And you have not used functions at all in C?
I mean, logarithm.
PSAT logarithm you have used, right? So you have used a main function and some sub functions also, right? In logarithm. Yeah, calling functions, you did it in main. And you know that there is something like a function definition. Are you aware? You called a function sum in your main, right? Yes or no? Yes. That sum, where do you write? The task of sum, where do you write? Add a function and you might have linked it somewhere else, right? Another add a function, another window will open, then you will have to...
Function manager.
Yeah. So there is something like, you just remember now, later I will discuss that in C. Function has got three components: function call, function declaration, function definition. Just remember this. I will tell you in detail later. Okay, don't worry. Function, declaration, function call, function definition. Just remember these 3 points. Okay. I repeat: function declaration, function call, function definition. Fine. Now, if this global declaration means anything what you declare above main is going to be considered as a globally declared. It can be a variable, it can be a function. Are you getting my point? I repeat, anything above main, when you declare, it is considered to be a global declaration. What is that global declaration? It can be a variable or it can be a function declaration. Okay. Now in this example, above main, what is there in above main? Int x is equal to 0. So this is a global variable declaration. X is equal to 100. Void add. Add is a global function declaration. Please remember this. Okay. Now, why do we need this global declaration again? If you declare it above main, this x can be used inside main also, and as well as apart from main, any other functions you use it, there also you can use this variable. That means it is globally declared. Meaning is it need not be used only in main. Any functions you can use this x in that particular program. Got it? Same way. Addition, add function, you are declaring it as globally means that function can be used anywhere in your program. So when I say anywhere in your program, you must know a bit about how many functions you can use in a program. Since you have not learned in C what are the functions, for time being, those who have not understood global declaration of a function, you can leave it at this point. When I teach functions clearly, I can take up this global declaration of a function. Okay. But global declaration of a variable, you can understand now. Yeah.
That int x is equal to 100 means it is declaration or assignment?
It is a declaration come assignment. Declaration come initialization. That is why I think your funda is very weak. Usually when I teach what is declaration come assignment, what is compile time assignment, what is runtime assignment. Since you said that you know C bit, I just left all those things. I'll tell that. Now, when you say simply int x, it is a declaration. Okay. When we say int x is equal to 5, x is equal to 100, it is declaration come initialization or declaration come assignment. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. One more point to note. Everybody please note this. When I say int x is equal to 10, doesn't matter above main or inside main, it is known as a compile time assignment. It is known as a compile time assignment because I will be using this frequently, this terms. You must know this. Whether it is above main or inside main, if I say int x is equal to 100, int a is equal to 100, int b is equal to 10, it is a compile time assignment. At the same time, simply int a and reading a value through scanf statement, scanf %d ampersand a, that is known as runtime assignment. That is known as runtime assignment. So the difference between compile time assignment and runtime assignment is before the compilation itself, you do the assignment. It is known as compile time assignment. Runtime assignment is nothing but after compilation, when you need to give the values, only you use that. That is why it is known as a runtime assignment. Today, those who were in my lab, you would have noticed that after compilation, cc space file name .c, I got an executable file. ./a.out when I did only, I gave the value of a and b. Did you notice that? G section students? After ./a.out only, I gave a and b values, right? That is during runtime. If at all I would have initially assigned a is equal to 10, b is equal to 5, that is known as a compile time assignment. Is it clear? These all are the fundas which you should know very clearly. If any doubt is there, you can ask. Is it clear? Compile time assignment, runtime assignment?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
if we declare before only, it is compile time assignment. Ma'am.
No, don't mix it with global and local. This is somebody asked me a question, assignment, I just discussed. That is why I usually don't deviate too much. It is not before main or after main, doesn't matter. Nothing to do with global declaration. Somebody asked this assignment, I just told you this. That's it.
Means like if we simultaneously do assign and declare, it is compile time. If we scanf means it is runtime.
If you use a scanf and read the value through keyboard, it is a runtime assignment. Okay. If you assign it along with the declaration or after declaration, it is known as a compile time assignment. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing to do with global local. This is somebody asked doubt, I just cleared. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, now coming to global declaration. What is global declaration is, listen carefully, whatever variables and functions you declare above main is known as a global declaration. Not the point. I repeat, whatever variables and functions, declaration or assignment, you do it before main, it is known as a global declaration. The advantage of global declaration is, once you declare it, you don't need to declare it in each and every function locally. Example, you may not be able to understand at this point, but still I will tell you, I have a program, I have a main, okay? Let us assume that I have 2-3 functions inside my main, function 1, function 2, function 3. I repeat, I have a main program, I have 3 functions, function 1, function 2, function 3. Okay. Now, I wanted to use a variable. One, I wanted to use x. So usually, where do you declare the variable? Inside the function or inside the main? You usually declare inside main, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, if I wanted to use the same variable in function 1, function 2, function 3, is it possible? Actually speaking, no. That is why somebody was asking global local, right? I said I will teach you later with functions. Now, if you would have declared above main, listen carefully, if you would have declared x above main, that can be used in main, that can be used in function 1, that can be used in function 2, that can be used in function 3. That means global declaration of a variable or a function means everywhere, anywhere in your program, you can use this. Got it?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
those 3 functions are inside the main or outside the main, ma'am?
Doesn't matter inside the main or outside the main.
Means like if we take those three inside and if we declare inside also, it will work for three functions, ma'am.
That is why I said inside only you usually declare, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you don't go for a global declaration. So inside means how many times you have to declare? Function 1 also you need to declare, function 2 also you need to declare, function 3 also you need to declare index.
Yes.
Rather, you can go for a global declaration is what I meant. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think students, you may not be able to pick it up this global declaration too much now. No problem. Don't worry. When I teach functions now, just somebody remind me to tell this global declaration again. I can take it up. No problem. Because you should know a bit about functions. Otherwise, it is a bit difficult. Okay. So just now you understand that anything which you declare above main is considered to be a global declaration. So you don't need to go for a local declaration if you are declaring globally. And again, it is optional. It is not compulsory. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now you may wonder, everything is optional, then what is there? Actually, many things are optional. You need only one preprocessor directive, one main to run, nothing else. I will show you one program today itself, so that you will before 3:35. Yeah, fine. Coming to the function declaration, the fifth point again. So function, you all know this function. Main is a function. There are so many functions, built-in function, user defined. Let us discuss all later. No worries. Function declaration section means if any function you are using, you can declare that function. So I told you already, function has got three components: function declaration, definition, function call. Okay. So any variable you use in your program, A or X, you need to declare that. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Same way, any function you use in your program, you need to declare that function. Remember this point. That much is enough now. Any function you use in your program, you need to declare that function. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't
Void
matter
main
where do you declare. No, don't take void main now. I'm coming to void main. Don't worry. Doesn't matter. Function where do you declare. Okay? Forget about that. That also I say now for optional. Okay, coming to main. Now coming to the sixth point. Let me come to the important point now. Main function. Void and all I'll discuss. Wait. Main function. This is a compulsory part. Okay, it is a compulsory part. Till now I was telling everything optional except preprocessor. Preprocessor directive is must. Okay, document is optional, definition is optional, global is optional, function declaration is also optional. Why? Because it is when functions need to be declared only, you need to go for it. We'll see that, no problem. Main function. Main function is important. What is main function? Main function is a section or entry point. Main says that where exactly your program starts, the beginning of your program. What is your program? Sample.c. Where is your program starting from? Main. All programs will start from main function. Now, what do you mean by a function? What do you mean by a function? It is a small part of your program. So any task it does. So main is also a function like that. It is an inbuilt function, not a user-defined function. User is not defined. Main is an inbuilt function. Whether it is me using the program, you writing the program, or any other section students writing the program, it is must that MAIN open parenthesis, close parenthesis, you have to use it. Nobody can change MA open parenthesis, close parenthesis, MAI open parenthesis, close parenthesis. No, even if it is Vinita madam or even if it is you, somebody other madam, MAIN small letter, open parenthesis, close parenthesis is the syntax of main. Okay, where main is the name of the function, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, actually the syntax of that function. Okay, that is why main is important and compulsory for section for all the programs. Now, always, I told you that when you use a function also, you must declare. So usually when we say function, we say a return type. You must have not used in C, but you must have learned it in your PSAT programming, returning a value. Have you learned that? Returning a value?
Yes, ma'am. In
Yes,
module.
ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So any function can return a value back to the called function. Am I right? Or return back to main. Now you understand return back to main. Right?
Yes.
Yes or no? Okay. So the function syntax is like this: return type space. Those who wanted, you can make a note. Then your doubts will be cleared. Void and all. Return type space function name open parenthesis argument list close parenthesis. Make a note. You want me to take it that in a slide and show you, or is it okay? The
Slide.
return type and the function name open parenthesis arguments list close parenthesis. I will teach you in functions in detail. Okay, don't worry about it. This is only to tell you what is main. Okay, don't worry about it. Now, what is a return type? I didn't write anything. What is a function now for main? MAIN. Function name. What is function name? Can you see this? You can see, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What is my function name? Main. My function name is main. I wrote main. Okay. Yes. Open parenthesis. Do I have any arguments? Forget about what is argument and all. Do I have any arguments when you write in your main? Did you use anything?
No, ma'am.
No. So it can be empty. So argument list can be an optional part. Okay. It can be empty. So I'm just closing it. You got it? You got it? Right now I don't have any argument. I just closed it. Fine? Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have anything. So you just open the parenthesis, close the parenthesis. This argument list is again optional. Nothing to worry about. Okay. We will say that later. Now, what is return type? What it returns back to the calling function. Okay. So assume that main is called from somewhere or something like that. What it returns. So right now, are you going to return anything from main back to anything?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
right?
ma'am.
It is null. So since it is null, void usually represent null. Void means nothing, null, zero. Nothing it is returned. So generally people put void main. This is the doubt most of you all have. Void space main. So it is must that you need to put a return type. But some compilers even accepts without return type. It will just give you a warning that return type must be specified. So don't worry too much about return type until and unless you return a value. Got it? But have a habit of writing return type void main. Now, are you going to return anything? Nothing. So you can open parenthesis when I write something to say. Maybe I can just put return 0. Nothing. Is it going to return anything? Is it going to return anything?
No.
No. So it is void. So it is void. Okay. Hope you can see.
Zero is an integer. No,
Wait.
ma'am.
0 is an integer. 0 gives you any value? Does 0 gives you any value?
No, ma'am.
So it is 0. Null. Void is nothing but null. That's all.
Ma'am, for void main, return 0 is not it.
It is. That is what I said. This is not compulsory again. Some compilers may give you a warning saying that return type must be specified or return 0. In that case, you just put return space 0. But it is not compulsory again. If you use void, some compiler will give you this. Not all the compilers. That is why I told you in general. Got it? Whether you put it, if you don't put it also, no problem. No errors. Warnings you can skip. No problem. Clear? Is it clear? You will understand when it is when I execute some programs only, because for me also I told you already, right? I have not even did today with G section. When I interacted only, I understood like bit how deeper you have gone. So it takes little time. So you have to bear with me. I have so many things to tell you, but I don't want to get it deviated from my topic again. Okay, fine. Now forget about it. So now instead of void, can I use int? Int main.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
students. Always you can use int. Nowadays, most of the modern compilers, by default, for main, the return type is integer. Got it? That is why people use int. Did you understand? Most of the compilers nowadays, by default, for main, int. Even if you don't specify int, simply write main, also your program will work. Okay?
Yes,
In case if you have any warnings or something, you can just put an int or void, doesn't matter. Okay, but this return type is very important in case if you are returning any value of a type integer. Please remember this. Okay, this is very, very important in case if you are returning any value. Since for main you are not going to return anything back, doesn't matter, you put int or void, doesn't matter. Is it clear? That is why this main function. So it is a compulsory part. Okay. Now user defined function, it is not compulsory. If you have any functions only, you need to have that user defined. So right now, let us not discuss what is user defined. Let me just give me a 5 more minutes and just wind up user defined function. Now after main, if you look at here, after main, do you have any class after this?
Yes, ma'am.
What time? 3:45.
45.
Give me 3 minutes. Let me just wind up. Yeah. Listen here. Now we are done with main. Yes. After main, please remember open flower bracket. Okay. Open flower bracket. Close the flower bracket for the main function. So generally, function you declare, then you will have body of the function you need to write. For that, you need to put an open flower bracket and close flower bracket. Okay. For body of the function. So what is the body of the function? Body of the function means variable declaration, some statements. Understand that, some statements. Okay, I repeat, int or void main is the starting point of your program. After that, that tells the compiler that is the beginning of the program. Then open braces, close braces. In between, what you write is nothing but your body of the program, body of the function main. And also there must be a variable declaration, right? That is nothing but about your main function. And after that, you can have a user defined function section. That is what is user defined. Void add is a user defined. We will discuss that user defined function later, but you will have to learn this user defined section also. Okay, so that's all about structure of C program. So even if you look at here, hash include stdio.h here, preprocessor directive. Hash define some global declaration. Don't worry what it is right now. Int main, but this is compulsory. Int main is compulsory. Local declaration, some statement is a body, user defined functions. So if you look at, you can see this structure of C program. That's all about your C program. I need 2 more minutes to just show you one C program in my compiler. Then only I'll wind up the session. So I repeat, document section is optional, preprocessor is compulsory, definition is optional, global is optional, function declaration is optional, main function is must, user defined is also optional. If any function is there, this function declaration and all is must, otherwise only main is enough. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear to all? Or the structure of C programs? I don't want any students to make any mistake in the structure of C program hereafter. Is it clear to all, or any doubts, anybody?
Can we define a function before main?
Ma'am.
Yes, we can do that. In C++ usually you do. I think you have learned C++.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I know. So the such questions, I will take it personally. I mean, not in Teams.
Okay, ma'am.
because I know that our students have not learned function itself properly. So I need to start function and then we can discuss it. Or you can message me in Teams. I can answer.
Okay.
Yeah, students.
Ma'am, in next class, can you explain functions, types of functions?
And when do we teach arrays? I think we should start functions first, then arrays, right? That is better, I feel. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me check it with other people because I will tell them also because they started already arrays.
Yes.
I think it's better to start with function. Even I feel the same.
Because for
So
us
that you will be
in
clear.
previous PSAT class, ma'am told just modularization, but to apply in this C program, we had not much grip also. That's
Yeah. Let me just see that. If I can do that, that is a good thing. Even I also feel comfortable with that than going for arrays. Because I understand that you have not clearly understood. Let me see. Okay, give me 2 more minutes to just show you. Don't worry, the G section students know what I'm going to do now. Other people may have what is terminal, some doubts. Just listen to my recording today, what I did it in the lab. I just show you one C program here. Okay, G-edit. I'm just going to open a editor window, sample.c as I said. Yes, done. As I mentioned, what is linkage section? Sorry, what is that? Document session. Document session is nothing but this is a simple program. This is a simple program. It is not must. Okay, I told you already. I'm just introducing it. This is a simple program. Fine, but this thing is important. Hash include std. Yeah, this is important. So what section it is? What section it is? Students?
preprocessor.
Preprocessor.
Yeah. Preprocessor. I'm just bringing it like this. Yeah. You cannot show the slide. Show like sharing screen. Yeah. If you look at this is a If you look at here, this is a preprocessor directive. Document section I have done. Preprocessor directive. Now definition am I using? No. Global am I using? No. Function declaration am I using? No. And straight away going for int name. Open parenthesis. Close. Inside body of the function. Printf welcome. Those who are learning C programming, please learn along with me today onwards. Then you will not have any trouble. Can you just see students here? 3:40 I'll stop. We need 2 more minutes. This is a document section. This is again not compulsory. Okay. Even without this, my program will work. This is just for you to show. This is not an executable code. So I am deleting this. My program will work. Don't worry. That's optional. Preprocessor, yes. Hash include stdio. Did I use? No. Did I use global declaration? No. Did I use function declaration? Nothing. Main did I use? Did I use main?
Yes,
did I use main? Yes. After that, open braces, close braces, one body of the function. I'm just executing this. Okay. Again, G section today of familiar with my execution, things like that. cc sample.c./a.out. Yeah, see, welcome, I got it. So did I execute a simple program? So do you all know to execute a simple program at least?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. So I would expect you to do a sum of two numbers program. It's very simple. Yeah.
The last section, could you please show that?
Which one?
The name of the last section you showed on the, the behind
Vanilla?
slide. The behind slide. User defined.
This one? This one?
Yes, ma'am. The user defined function section.
User defined function right now, let us not use it because we are not, that is what we have to discuss about functions now. User defined function is nothing but Now sum of two numbers, you are doing that program with user defined function, let us say. So you will define a function called sum. Yes, in PSAT you did add function.
It's calling function.
So not calling, there's actually a difference. Calling function, the function what you are going to call, the body of that function. Yes, user defined function section. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, this is also compulsory only if you are using any functions in your program, user defined function. Yeah, is it clear to all?
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, all the user defined functions would be called what?
User defined functions would be called, it is where if you wanted to call the user defined function, you can call. If not, no. So if you need only, you will define that function, isn't it? This user defined function section is purely in the hand of user. Okay. So if you want, you define the function. If not, don't define the function. That means any C program can return with functions, without functions. I repeat, any C program can be returned with function, without functions. Two numbers, can I write it without function? Sum of two numbers.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I write sum of two numbers with functions?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Then it is going to be a user-defined function there. That's it. It's very simple. It's not a big complicated thing. Once I explain the functions, you will be very clear. Okay. Any doubts? I think it's already 3:40. If you want me to continue, I can do one more program, but I think you have class, right? 3:45. Yeah, I think I will wind up here. Tomorrow we have, again, on Wednesday. I'll do one more program with the structure of C program itself. Then I will decide upon maybe with functions or to start with. I think I'll start with functions.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all. Yeah, if anyone is having, please, it is my sincere request, clear the doubts with me. And anybody wanted to start as a fresh the C program also, please start learning now. I can assure you that I can contribute to the core and then help you out. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So please do so. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. And good that you people are interacting well.